Hello, it's Mrs. Neal here, and I am going to be talking through your English tutorial for Year 5 for this week. So, what we would like you to do for our first lesson is to publish your potion that you created last week. So, you may have done this work at home, and you may have got to the final stage where you were proofreading and improving. And so what we would like you to do for your first session is to publish your potion so that it looks like this, and it can be added to our class potion book, because that is what our audience is for this week. So for our outcome, we were to write instructions for a potion, and the purpose of that was to instruct. So we had to include lots of features of instructions, and our audience, it was for a class potion book. So now you've done all the hard work, we would like you to have a little look at how this potion, which is a polyjuice potion, how this one has been published. So what it looks like, you can focus on the structural features. So how it's all been split up into different paragraphs. We have the ingredients section over here, and we have a little introduction here to say what the potion does. We then have the directions listed below here, which is where you would have included all your grammatical features and all your specific types of vocabulary. So what I want you to think about is, what are we focusing on when publishing our potion instructions, and what makes an effective one? Well, I would really say that this one is a model for how we would like yours to look. And you don't have to do this with a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. You could use a laptop or an iPad to publish this work. Try to be inventive by using different colours, different fonts. You could even get a picture like this from the internet and use it as a background, and then add your text over the top. And don't forget, when you have done this, to post it up onto your Class Dojo page so your teacher can add some comments and see all of your hard work at home. We have added some reminders on here that you can use when you are publishing. So you have your title at the top, and I want you to think about your font size, so it really needs to stand out. You need to decide which parts need to be in bold. We normally put the really important parts of a text in bold. Then you need to think about your subheading, and that needs to have capitals. And then you need to think carefully about your font and how it could be centered so that your list is really clear. We also have a header or a footer, so that is something that either goes at the top or at the bottom, so that shows what chapter we are on in this book. We have a diagram and an illustration, and we also have a caption to go with it, so a little sentence describing what the picture is. And we want you to think about what makes this a published potion. So how do we know this is a published piece of text? This is your learning journey for the rest of the week. So you're going to be moving on to something different. So what we would like you to do for our second lesson of the week is to infer information about a character. Now you are going to be learning about the Highwayman, which is a really special text. It's a poem by Alfred Noyes. So we have included a link in your guidance and in your overview, so you can hear this at home and you can start to understand some of the text. But all I would like you to do for now is to look at the front cover, and to use your retrieval skills, I would like you to think, what could this be about? What kind of character could this be? So pause your video now and see if you can jot down some notes. We have added some more pictures on so you can think a little bit clearer about who this character is. What might he be like? What do you think his job is? So you need to use your inference skills here because you need to look really carefully at the picture to decide what kind of character you think he is. So he wears a mask and a hat. He is smartly dressed. He is carrying weapons. He is riding a horse. So what does that tell us about that character? And what we would like you to do is to just make some predictions. So using the clues from the lesson resources, what do you think the poem is going to be about? Write your prediction onto a piece of paper. Can you back it up with some evidence? Then you could maybe write some questions about the character, so things you would like to find out about them. And then take some photos of these and put them in your portfolio area of your Class Dojo page. We look forward to seeing what you come up with. In Wednesday's lesson, we would like you to identify and understand what certain words mean. So you're going to try and use a dictionary, and you can use an online dictionary to help you to define unfamiliar words. And then you're going to try and think about what these words mean, and you're going to look for clues in the poem. So have a think about what a highwayman could be. And here we've got this picture here. This refers to our word meaning skills. So have a little think about what a highwayman is. So a highwayman was a robber who stole from travellers. So they normally travelled or robbed by horse so that they could make a quick escape. And these were criminals that operated a long time ago. So if we know that our main character is a criminal or a robber, I want you to predict, what do you think this text is about? Let's read a section of the poem together. So the wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor. And the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. So what I want you to think about in this paragraph here is, are there any words that you are unsure of? And if there are, and you have a copy of this printed out, just underline them or make a note of them and see if you can use a dictionary to find out what they mean. So I'm going to set you one that I'd like you to do. I would like you to find out what a torrent is. So using your dictionary, you might have a book version or you might use an online version, find out what a torrent is. So a torrent is a strong and fast-moving stream of water or other liquid, or an overwhelming outpouring of. So that means that the wind was really strong. It was like a wave, and that's why it's being described as a torrent. What I would like you to do now is to read this paragraph here, this stanza from the poem, and I want you to think about, what does it state? Which words are unfamiliar to you? And can you read and work out what they mean by reading the rest of the stanza? So you can use your dictionary or you can use your online dictionary to help you. And then what we would like you to do is to take a line from the poem and tell us what the meaning is. So here I've given you the example of a torrent is a very strong stream of water, and we know that gusty means breezy. So that helps us develop more of a picture of the setting of the poem. These resources should be included in your online learning pack. And at the end, I would like you to think about what you have found out about the poem so far. So what do we know about the highwayman? What do we know about Bess, and what kind of character is Tim? So by following that online link to your poem, you'll be able to hear the whole thing and you will be able to make predictions about these characters here. For your next lesson, we would like you to be using a dictionary again. We would like you to follow this link and listen to the whole poem again so you become very familiar with it. And we would like you to think about who are the main characters and what happens in the story. What is the plot? Can you retell it to somebody at home? It's a very exciting poem, so I'm sure somebody would like to listen to you retelling it. Can you jot down any words that are unknown to you? So which words don't make any sense? See if you can use your dictionary to work out what those words mean. Or what you could do is read around the words. So track back to the start of the sentence and see if you can work out what those words mean by using clues from the other words. There is a definitions worksheet that we would like you to complete, which is in your resources section. And try to think of effective strategies you can use to help us. So we could use a dictionary, or like I said, we can use other clues from the text to help with our inference skills. And our last lesson for this week is to use relative clauses. So what is the main clause and relative clause of a sentence? So it is the main piece of information. And what we can do to a single clause sentence to make it more interesting is we can add in extra information, a subordinate clause, and this is what you're going to be practicing today. So what we would like you to do is to highlight the relative clauses in these sentences. As quick as a flash, the car zoomed down the road. The pirate, who wore a black eye patch, stood on the deck of the ship which flew a black flag. Shaking with fear, I peered around the corner to see what was there. The boy who stole the chocolate bar got into huge trouble. The art lesson involved paint, which was messy. So see if you can pick out the relative clauses from these sentences. So I will show you in this example here. The pirate, and then this is our relative clause, who wore a black eye patch. So it's giving us extra information and we have used the word who here to do that. So see if you can check where the relative clauses are in the rest of these sentences. Your activity for today then, we would like you to write a single clause sentence. Make sure you identify the noun. What is the main noun in that sentence? And add further information about the noun. You can use commas to add extra information and to add punctuation into your sentence. And then we would like you to read it to check it made sense. My sentence potentially would be, the mysterious man, comma, who wore a dark black mask, so that is our relative clause, rode confidently on the strong horse. So that is my sentence. Which sentences can you come up with? Write them down and see if you can then post your sentences onto your portfolio so your class teacher can have a read. You can do them about the highwayman, you can do them about this character here, Bess, or this character here. So don't forget to share your work on Class Dojo for your feedback, and we look forward to reading your super sentences.